Hi, welcome to Texas!
He's a 10.
I choose this family.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 160 of 911LoneStar Roundup. I'm one of your hosts, Katie, and with me are my lovely co-hosts, Grace and EJ.
Hello.
Hello.
And happy 2026. Today
Happy New
we are
Year.
back, and Nawan is also back tonight. So we're going to be talking about our theories and wish lists and all the little news that we have gotten from Nawan and a little Nashville as well, just because shows are back. And I'm happy they're back. I am. I've missed it, but it's also been good to have like a little break from the 911 verse and stuff and holidays and all that crazy end of the year stuff. But it'll be good to be back. But first, we just thought since this is New Year, we would talk about like what we've been up to, what we've read slash watched, and just have a little fun random chat to start off the good New Year. Great. And what better way? So let's just get into it. So yeah, hiatus. It was a good break. Like now being back, I just feel so good about everything.
Yeah.
It was a crazy month. Just like working. I was working like I say weird hours, but it was really I was just working very early, which is good because then I got to come home and do fun things and get off way earlier. Like going back to a normal schedule, I'm like, oh, this is gonna feel weird. And it was, holidays were fun and I really didn't do much. Like, yeah, I did like a lot of like social media stuff, I guess. But yeah, fun December.
The hiatus was good. I feel like I was thinking this when you were doing the intro, Katie. I feel like since we reviewed Nashville, it doesn't actually feel like it's been that long since 911 went on hiatus even though it's been like a month and a half, something along those lines. In a few weeks anyway, but like it feels like less time because we reviewed Nashville before going on hiatus for ourselves. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of been a crazy hiatus for me personally. Like a lot of work, a lot of school. I had exams. I am currently in England, so that's where I'm calling from right now. And just a lot of stuff. I mean, good stuff for the most part, but a lot of stuff. So it's maybe not quite been as restful as I would have wanted it to be, but it has been all good things. Mostly good.
Yeah, I think I've had some ups and downs this last, 6 weeks or so. Like November was definitely interesting. I finished what, novel November. I did my 50,000 words. I'm still not done with the first draft of my second book. So I've still been working on that. Have had friends and family kind of in and out. Had another death in my family recently. So like, unfortunately it was right before Christmas, but it was expected. This was a family member who'd been sick for some time and we knew it was coming. We just didn't know exactly when. And so we did finally get the notice. It was exactly a week before Christmas. And then, so just been spending time with friends and family and a couple of my friends had kids around. So it was cool. I got to be auntie again and spend some time with them and then doing a little reading. I did actually, business has been like up and down, like had some clients, working with clients, finishing up things for them, starting the new year, trying to figure out what our 2026 goal is, just all that stuff that comes with the end of the year and the new year. But yeah, and it's been good. Like it's been busy, had a few illnesses, just kind of feeling cruddy here and there, but that also comes with spending time with kids and knowing that they're in daycare and going to school and bringing all sorts of whatever else around. So it happens.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. I think mix of being around kids and also flying 2 days before Christmas also took me out shortly after Christmas. But yeah.
So what have you guys been either reading or watching? I know I told you guys that like I literally haven't watched anything to my knowledge. I was even going through like all my like TV apps to see like if I watched anything, and I'm like, I don't think I have. It's like, it's kind of one of those things where I feel like if I'm reading a lot, I'm not watching anything. Like, I just can't do both, or like, it's a struggle to do both. Like, because I just don't feel like I have the most free time of all the things that I love to do in my off time. So I feel like I'm just not watching anything. Like, obviously, 911's coming back, and like some of my other shows are coming back, so I'll be watching those again. And there are shows that I want to watch that I will be fitting in there, but I really haven't watched a ton. I've been reading a a little bit more, I would say, the past few months. I mean, December wasn't just because it was so busy, but I did in like October and November and September and stuff like that.
Yeah, as far as watching goes, in any case, I haven't been able to watch a lot of stuff because I've also been like super busy. And most times that I have any time to put towards watching anything, I tend to put towards like watching YouTube instead. I managed to watch some Christmas movies this year though. Watched literally my favorite Christmas movie of all time, multiple times, which is Muppet Christmas Carol. I will take no arguments. Everyone can go talk to the wall. It is the best Christmas movie in existence. I also watched Home Alone, which is, of course, a classic.
For sure.
I also, being over in UK right now, I have watched a couple on and off stuff with like my sister and sister-in-law. Like, as of yesterday, I learned that there was a pottery version of the Great British Bake Off.
Interesting. That sounds very fascinating.
Actually, it was really cool. I watched the first episode.
Oh my god.
It was like an episode. I was falling asleep during part of it, but that was not the show's fault. It was just I was really tired. But it's really fun. But also, I've been taking advantage of British channels to watch a show I have loved for years. It's called Death in Paradise. And it's usually got a inspector from the UK, but it's based in the Caribbean on like the island of Saint Marie. I'm not actually sure if that is a real island. I think it's made up, but I think it is like centered around some real islands. And it is really good. And I've just been catching up on one of the latest seasons because I haven't really kept up with it this year. And they brought in a new inspector, so. But that's pretty much all I've been watching. I've also been doing a fair amount of reading as well, but haven't had time for much of all of those.
Yeah, my goal has been in the last few years, each year to read 36 books. I have not made it any of those years. One year I did make that, but it was more of like just anything. I did finish up the year getting to my goal, but it was like the last week of December, like binging like 3 or 4 books to get those last few in to get to like my like the goal I had like lowered down to. And then I'm finishing, like we watched my roommate and I watched The Floor with Rob Lowe hosting. She's determined to get me on the show. I don't know if I'm up for that. And then like I would totally do it just to meet Rob Lowe, but like I also like there would be other and then we've been just like kind of lounging around in the evenings. Like we haven't really been watching a lot of new stuff. We've actually been going back and like watching Hawaii Five-0 and NCIS New Orleans, SWAT, Grey's Anatomy. What are we watching? Oh, we keep up on Watson. And then I caved and agreed last night to watch at least the last 2 episodes of season 3 of Fire Country.
Still haven't gotten to go back to that because I think the last time that we were talking about shows, I was like, I can't remember what season I left off on. I think it was 2 or 3 and stuff. The only way I'm able to figure out where I am in shows is like having an app to track and all, because otherwise I would not remember where I left off. Like, yes, I know for the most part, like Hulu or wherever you're watching shows will let you know, but I'm just like, and I also got rid of Paramount, so I don't have it right now because I was just like, oh, I'll get rid of it for now and then I'll like resume it when I actually am actively watching shows, because otherwise it's just a waste of money. So that's my other excuse.
I as soon as I heard what they did at the end of season 3, early season 4, I was like, nope, I'm not watching it again. The only reason why I started watching the series was because of Billy Burke, and I've been a fan of his for a long time. I've watched several shows he's in, not counting, yes, I've seen Twilight and the whole series, but I'm like, I've seen him in several other TV shows and movies, and I've been a fan of his for a long time. And I was like, no, I'm not going to watch it. But my roommate's like, why haven't we watched it? So I was like, okay, fine. We'll watch the end of season 3, which nothing major happens then. But I just, And I have talked with another friend who's like, she's like, yeah, but I think they did it well. And I was like, but we as like the 3 of us and like the 911 fandom and still just like literally just lost Bobby.
Yeah, it happened very close together from what I heard.
Had the spoilers of like, this is what's going to happen. And it was like, crap, like we just lost Bobby and now we're losing another like significant like father role in a series. I was like, I couldn't
I
do
think
it.
they were within like a couple weeks of each other.
Well, yeah, because so Fire Country season 3 ended in May, and there was no like, it ended on a cliffhanger of like the building explodes with the two parents of Bodhi and the grandfather of Bodhi still inside. So like it's ending with not knowing if who's gonna survive. And then like right after the season ended, they announced that Billy Burke and one of the other cast members were not coming back for season 4. And then we're like all just kind of, we knew what they were gonna do, and it was not. Yeah. And I was like, nope, I'm not watching it anymore. I don't need to watch it.
Yeah, I don't even, there's like several shows that like I watched maybe like a season and then for whatever reason, not because I didn't like the show, I just never picked it up again. And there's like a couple that I do want to get back to
Yeah.
and stuff. And I know the new Pit season is coming out soon, so my mom
Yeah.
and I are gonna be watching that every week. Which I'm excited about.
That is a show I want to get into. I
It
hear
is,
nothing
me
but
too.
good
you
things
guys,
about
it
The
is
Pit.
like literally the best show. Like literally doctors watch it and review it and they're like, this is a show that actually does it right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now that I have access to Max, I kind of want to watch it because I've heard the same thing, like that it's of the many medical shows out there, it's one of the more accurate ones. So I definitely want to watch it and support.
Yeah, and it's more unique because every episode is essentially 1 hour of the shift.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it's not like your typical show where it's just like the next episode is like a different week or even a different month. Like every episode is 1 hour of a 12-hour shift. There's 15 episodes because of course overtime.
Right.
But it's that's why it's so cool and so unique, and also like the accuracy is just incredible.
Nice. Well, yeah, and so much happens in a hospital just in a half an hour time frame, so I can totally understand them doing that. Sounds like it's a really cool design. Yeah, there's several shows I want to get back into watching or watch new that are like newer. I think over the summer my friend got me into the My Life with the Walter Boys, so I was able to watch like the whole series because it like the more current season came out at the end of August and stuff, so they're like ones I want to keep up on. And I've been doing like more research on like finding shows that have been based off of books and then trying to find the books to like read maybe shows that I've already watched, like to find the books and see like what it was based off of.
Yeah.
Just to add some different to my to be read, list.
I know we sort of briefly talked about this, but we can talk about it again. How much did you guys read this year? And what was like your goal? So for me, I read 33 books and my goal was 30. And then the previous year, the goal was 12, but then I exceeded that. So I increased it maybe mid-year to 20 and I ended up reading 22. Because like the year before I got back into reading after like just having to read things I wasn't interested in school, in college and stuff. And then I was just like, that kind of burned me out. And I was just like, well, I'm not really reading for fun for a few years. And then I got back into it again. So I think that year I got back into it, I only read 4. And so I was like, oh, the next year I'm going to set a goal for 12. And if I read one book a month, that'll be great. And then I ended up exceeding that, of course, so I like changed it around, but I was pretty pleased. Like I think I ended up hitting my goal like a month before the end of the year. I think I might have hit it in November, so I was pretty pleased, and I wasn't honestly expecting to get to 33. I thought maybe like 1 or 2 more than 30. I honestly was like, I didn't even expect to get past 30, so I was pleased. I was very pleased with myself. And so for 2026, I was like, okay, well, I didn't really want to do just 30 because I was like, if I know I can possibly do more, I want to do more. I like to push myself a little bit. So I was like, okay, well, I debated doing 26 for 2026, but then that would have been less, which would have been fine, but I debated doing like the number thing. So then I landed on 35 because I was like, okay, well, that's only 2 more than I actually read in 2025. So that's what I went with for mine, and I'm hopeful and I'm very pleased about it.
Yeah. So last year I read 21, which like the year before then I'd read like 1, 2. So I was kind of on the same level, Katie, of like I used to be a passionate reader growing up and I've always loved reading, but I got out of it in my like late teens, early young adulthood. So came back into it. I had a goal this year of 100. And once I started school, I realized I was unrealistic, so I decreased it to 75. I finished out the year with 61. So I did not hit my goal, but I'm actually still really happy with myself because it was really difficult, actually.
Yeah, That's great.
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
I'm really pleased with it. But yeah, I think I hit 52 in the summer or something. Or like I hit more than halfway through the year. And then the last couple of months have been a brawl for me. So
Yeah, like I said, the last few years, my goal has been to read 36 books. I figure three a month is not that hard. Plus, I like to throw in that I kind of do the A to Z, where I like to try and read one book that starts with each letter of the alphabet, not counting like I and the or an or a. So I had started out, I think my goal was 36, and I was doing really good through like March, April. And then like spring and summer happened, and I was busy and traveling, and I was doing some audiobooks while I was traveling, but I also didn't get a lot of time to do that. So it kind of trickled down, and there were a few months where I didn't read at all. So I kind of brought my goal down to 20, and so did end up ending the year like right at the last like week of the year, finishing 4 books to get to 20. And so I did my 20. So again, this year, my 26 goal was to do at least 36. And like yesterday, I literally like, we're recording this on a Monday. So that yesterday, Sunday, I literally just finished the 6th book in the Heated Rivalry Game Changer series. Yeah. So that's been an interesting like development. I think my brain is mush right now. but it's like good mush. Like there was a lot of good stuff in it. But yeah, so I'm really glad I at least got the 20 for last year. And then I'm definitely really doing better now about trying to like plan out what books I'm going to read for the certain letters so I can at least get to the 26, because I figure like that's one for every letter of the alphabet. That's more than I read last year. So if I can get 36 in, that would be great, but at least like aiming for the alphabet. There are certain letters that are super hard to find. Like X has been really challenging, unless like I already read the one book that I saw that was an audiobook, and there's a couple others, but they're not like a genre that I'm even interested in. So I have to kind of decide, like, do I want to really jump out of my comfort zone and read something that's just like totally out of my comfort zone just to get like that letter in, or do I want to like just cross it off as one that I, not going to get or whatever. So,
I love like little fun reading challenges, even just for fun. Like
yeah.
I really want to do like the States one, but I'm not
Oh,
gonna
that'd be
do
cool.
it in a whole year. Like I'm just gonna
yeah.
do it for fun and like see what happens and kind of like see how long it would take me and
Yeah.
stuff, and maybe document it along the way because I think that'd be fun. But I'm just like, no, I'm not doing that in a whole year. That is not gonna be a year's challenge. That's gonna be like a fun challenge that I might
Yeah.
share
Well, yeah, and
and
I've
stuff.
I've really
Yeah.
been actively like keeping track the last few years. So I feel like something like that, I would be okay being like, okay, I'm starting the challenge now, like making it official. But like I would go back to some of the books that I've maybe read and just like mark off like certain states to kind of get me started.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't
Yeah,
feel
that's
like,
true.
and that way like you're not per se like starting from scratch at book one. But no, that's a really cool idea. I hadn't even heard of that one. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a cool idea.
I have heard of that. I haven't really thought about doing it. I do like the idea of doing the A to Z. There are several challenges I'd like to do because I reset my goal again this year to be 75. I have no idea if I'll hit it or not. It's just something good to aspire to. So maybe, those are some things I could possibly kick off along the way. Were there any like super standout books that you guys had? Like any that you like really loved this year?
I have my like books I read this year pulled up because I'm like,
Right.
I
Yeah,
need to
I'll do
look
that
at
too.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, that guy sprang it on you guys, but I
No,
was
that's okay
like,
because that was actually my next talking point. I read so many good ones. I will also say for like the audience, so like I'm trying to get into like more different genres that wouldn't normally gravitate towards. I typically will go between like thrillers, mystery type books, and like romance. It kind of like if I read a bunch of romances in a row, I have to go back to a thriller. It's just kind of how I've been. But I don't know, it's so hard because I do want to do like a video of ranking all the books I read last year. I just haven't sat down
Yeah.
and did it because I love a good ranking. Obviously, you guys know that since we've done many
Right.
rankings on this podcast.
Yeah.
we
Um,
do love good rankings around here.
Yeah.
so I think one of my favorite books, I actually got an arc of this and I really liked it. It was called The Double Wife by Gina Lamanna. So basically it was like, so she found a note whatever. It was like her anniversary. She found a note from her husband, but it wasn't addressed to her. It was addressed to another wife. So he basically had two wives that didn't
Ooh.
know about each other, and it ended up being something he was missing. And so they'd been married 20 years, and she finds out her husband has a different woman, and it was really good. I really liked it. It was a really good like thriller and stuff, and it did have like that mystery element. I did really like that one. I'm trying to think. I read so many different ones. I also really liked, it was called Morbidly Yours by Ivy Fairbanks. That one, okay, so
Oh,
I
I've
read
heard of that.
that one I actually got as like a blind date in the book, and that one I half audio, like I did the audiobook, and then I when I was in the car because I was just like busy that time, and then I also like physically read it too. And so like it's funny when you read a book and then you're listening to the audiobook, because in that one the guy has like an Irish accent, which does make sense because I believe that she's in Ireland or something like that and stuff. And that one was really cute. Like he was basically like a mortician, and she like moved like next door or something, and like she had like lost her husband, whatever, and that was good. I read so many good ones. Like I just read Good Spirits by BK Borson, which is really good. And it did have like that fantasy element with ghosts, and I was like, okay, maybe I could get behind that if that's what it is. But I read so many good ones, but those are just like highlighting a few. I will say that I read all the Housemaid books that year, and my mom and I just saw the movie last week, and it was a really good like movie adaptation. Like they changed a few things, but it was for like dramatics, which I can totally get behind. And my mom and I both like were like, "Oh yeah, that was great." And it was fun because like I post like videos like on like TikTok for my books. Like I did, that was something that I did in 2025. I like because I was posting about it on my own like a different page, but I was like, I don't really feel like I get traction. So I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna make a dedicated page and see what happens. And now I have around 750 now, which I was just like, I'm like, I don't even know what to say about that. It's crazy.
Because I tend to mostly read romance. So I was looking back last year of the books that I read, and of them, I only gave one, two, three, four books 5-star rating for the year. And so like a quarter of my books were 5 stars, I guess you could say. So two of them was Dating and Drama and Dungeons. It's no Dungeons. Oh God, I get them confused. So Dungeons and Drama and Dating and Dragons. So they're two cute kind of YA teen books about kids doing D&D for a club, and I'm into D&D, and so I wanted to read them. I saw them at the bookstore. I was looking for something for a friend, and I happened to see them sitting like facing out on the shelf so I could see the covers, and I'm like, okay, that might be something my friend's grandson, who's like a nephew to me, would love, because he's so into Dungeons and Dragons. And so I'm like, but I wanted to read them first just to kind of see what they were about. And I'm like, they were kind of cute. Like they were like, they're like high school kids, the whole like drama of high school, but then also having like the D&D club, which I really think is important for kids to like really express themselves, and like having these clubs, even if they're like not school related clubs. And it's just like, yeah, you get these kids that maybe aren't normally into that kind of stuff or whatnot. So, and it was cute. I think definitely, I think when I read them, I was like, oh, I'm going to get these for him for Christmas. And then I ended up not, because I totally forgot about them. But yeah, I think I'm going to try and see if I can get a hold of them somehow so I can get them to him. And then I did Cave. And over the hiatus, I did watch Heated Rivalry. And so I started started reading the 6 books of the series. I read 3 at the end of the year because I could get a hold of them on Libby from the library. But then by the time I got down to the 3rd book, Libby was like overrun with the other 3 books. So I ended up having to buy they have a volume, like volume 1, volume 2. So the first 3 books are in a volume 1, and then volume 2 is in an ebook. So I went ahead and I bought the ebook for the last 3 books, so I could at least read them. And so I finished that. So like of those books, my top 2 favorite for 25. So I read Heated Rivalry, Game Changer, and Tough Guy. Heated Rivalry and Game Changer were definitely like my top two for that. Tough Guy is my least favorite out of the series, and those are the ones I did in 2025. So yeah, those were there was even a book I read in 25, written by an author from my hometown, and he set the book in my hometown, and I thought it was really cool. And like reading it, he changed the names of a bunch of the places, but like I knew where he was talking about the way he was describing it. And I didn't even give that book like a 5 stars. I gave it a 4 stars. And I think it was just because even though it was a really good book, there were things I wish had been better or done differently. So I didn't want to give it like full 5 stars. But I know we were kind of talking about this before we started recording, but for me, like if I didn't finish a book, it's probably going to get a 1 or a 2 star rating. And so 3 is kind of like, I read it. It was okay. 4 is kind of like awesome, but I probably wouldn't read it again. And 5 is like, I love this book. I'll probably read it again. I know a lot of people I've heard people have similar, they're like, yeah, pretty much if it gets a 2 or a 1, I'm probably never going to read it again, or I didn't finish it. So far, thankfully, none of those happened this year. But I'm also very picky with like when I'm reading descriptions about books and like listening to recommendations, like I'm very careful with what I get, because I'm like, I don't want to get a book that's going to be something I'm going to not finish. I do have some books that I've picked up at different like indie author events that I want to read. So I really need to dig those off my shelf, because I do have like a shelf of books that are like totally my TBR. But I don't tend to pick up a physical book as much anymore than I do like ebooks and audiobooks. So I know I have to really kind of figure out how to work that into my day, like to sit down and like physically read a physical book. Like, oh yeah, that's a thing, like actually turning a page.
That's how I am, because I got a Kindle in 2023, I'm pretty sure. Whatever. I got a Kindle. And once I got a Kindle, I was like, my life was changed.
Yeah.
And I love it. And I love it just because I can bring it everywhere. Like I bring it to work and I'll read like on my lunch break and stuff. And it's just easier for that. And I realized last year that I love listening to an audiobook in the car, even if I don't have like a long commute to wherever we're going. I do like it. So if there were books where like if I was in the car, I was listening to it, even if I was reading it on my Kindle or physically reading it. But I still get physical books, so like I still want to read them, but
they're my audiobook trophies.
yeah, sometimes I will buy, if I really like the book, I'm buying a copy. Like,
Yeah,
and it's
sure.
even gotten to the point where my mom's like, well, you should look up to see if you can buy a shelf for your bookshelf so you can put like you buy another shelf to add to your bookshelf, because mine's like it's not like a wooden one, it's actually metal. So I looked it up. You can buy extra shelves. So I'm like, I might have to do that.
Okay.
But yeah, I realized last year how much I like audiobooks. Like it also depends when I'm reading. Like if it's a memoir, I'm listening to the book. Because I like hearing somebody tell their story when it's a memoir. And I also rate those differently. They're automatically 5 stars, because I feel like it's just like I feel bad rating it bad if it's their story, because they're telling their story. So I either don't rate it or it's automatically 5 stars. I think for the most part, I just don't rate it unless I really feel that like, wow, this is great. But that's just my random side note.
So how do we track? Do you guys track on any specific apps? Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
And I've actually just added a couple more new ones. I went and did some research, and I'm like, we're going to see how these go. So like 2026 is going to be like testing out which one I like the best.
You guys, I have a problem. I have a problem because like I started using, like, I think I always had a Goodreads account, but so I started using Goodreads again, like actually using it within the past 3 years. And then it was like I think it might have also been on our Discord in the book chat. I think somebody had mentioned that they like a certain app, so then I downloaded one, and then I downloaded another one. Then I downloaded another one. Then I was on TikTok the other day, and somebody mentioned an app, and I go, do not look that app up. Do not do it. And I can't remember what it is, which is probably a good thing. But then in the back of my mind this morning, I was like, what was that app I heard about the other day? Because I'm just like, and it's funny because my mom and I will talk about this, and my mom will be like, do you use more than one app? And I'm like, yep. It's just like each one does something different, and I like the half-star ratings and the DNF buttons on like the other apps. It's funny because my mom will be like DNR a book, and I'm like, Mom, it's DNF. It cracks me up every time because it's so innocent. She's like, yeah, I think I'm gonna DNR this book, and I'm like, Mom, it's DNF, but okay.
So it's not that much different.
She goes straight to jail. DNR, do not resuscitate, do not collect 200 when you pass go.
She's like, oh, right, that's when you unplug somebody, right? And I'm like, it's okay, it's fine.
Yeah. So I use 3 apps. I do technically have a 4th one. I don't really use it. So I have Goodreads, I have Storygraph, and I have Fable. And I use them all for very different purposes. Because Goodreads is kind of like a catch-all for me. Like, that is the easiest way to track what I'm reading in the moment. And it also has, like, years worth of, I went and added this book here and this book there. And, like, it's stuff that I can't quite transfer over into other apps. I just find it to be the most practical for everyday use. I really like Storygraph for its analytics because it has really good graphs and statistics. I do not personally find it all that user-friendly. I don't say this to discourage anybody because I hear a lot of people find it actually really easy to use. I don't find like the interface or the navigation of the app to be as easy, but I like how in-depth it is, both for like how it lets you rate and review things, and also for its statistics. I also use Fable, and Fable was on the chopping block at some point because it did some pretty messed up shit with AI, but they fixed it. We're watching it, but they fixed it. But I use it a little bit more because it's more aesthetically pleasing. Yeah. It's most aesthetically pleasing out of all of them for like its formatting. It's a little bit more like, it's almost a little bit more of a social media than the other 2.
Right. Yeah.
Like it's a little bit more interactive.
Stuff like that.
Yeah. I don't run or am part of any book clubs, but like it's something like you can post to and stuff like people answer, that kind of thing. So it's a little bit more friendly. The 4th one I got that I don't really use is Bookmori. I just found it, like, it's cool. I just found it kind of boring. So, like, I
think I downloaded that one, and then I didn't like it, so I deleted it. So then I ended up downloading.
I didn't find anything I couldn't use on the other apps.
Yeah, I think I just didn't like it, so I deleted it. Yeah, because I use all the same ones, and then I used one called Margins, which I really like because of the way it displays them. Because my thing was I was looking for a certain thing that the other apps didn't have, but every app I would download, it would either be like in-app purchases or subscriptions, and I was like, that's my one thing that drives me nuts, is because it'll be like this ad and it'll be like, oh, it's free, and then you app subscription, and I'm like, well, I'm deleting this.
Listen. A book hobby is expensive enough. All right, I'm not spending money on the apps.
Yeah.
And also I just got like a book journal for Christmas. I really wanted like a physical one, and I also got like a little photo printer, so I'm really excited to like do that. Like my mom's like, why do you need this? I'm like, because it's fun and I really want to do this.
I tried doing the like physical book journal last year, and I got about 3 months in, and I went, oh, it's just another thing to keep track of, and I'm on my phone so much for so many things.
I'm not even doing it for 2026. I'm just doing it generally.
No, there you go.
I love the idea of a physical book journal. I just know I wouldn't. I would fall off of it very quickly. I know me. Like, it all sounds appealing to me, but my ADHD cannot cope.
Right. So like you guys, I use Goodreads. Goodreads was kind of my first one, and it was funny because I had started it linking it to my Facebook account, because like you used to be able to log in via Facebook through it, and so I would just go on there and like see what my friends were reading and like add a bunch of stuff to my like want to read or whatever, and then I kind of stopped even adding books on there to like my to read list. I just kind of like, it's a catch-all, like Grace said, and then I use Fable, which is nice because when you rate the books, when you finish them, it asks you other questions, and I don't often use it if I'm in a hurry, But it's nice because I can go through and I can answer, like it says, well, how did you feel at the end of the book? Or like, how spicy was it? What are things you can describe about it? Are there other things you want to say about the book? Like, would you, and so you can kind of give it an overall rating, and then you can kind of like rate certain things. Like you can rate the characters over the plot or things like that. So there's definitely some benefits to that. I do use Storygraph. That was the one I kind of got from Grace last year. And then I just added another one called Pagebound and another one called Hardcover. And they're a little more aesthetically pleasing than Storygraph and Goodreads. But I literally just started using them. So like, and you can add people on there. I don't really know anybody that's on them yet. And yeah, they have like paid versions, but thus far I haven't gotten to a point where like I'm to a point where I need to like pay for anything. And like you can import your Goodreads list. So like if you keep track like mainly on Goodreads for your things, you can save it as a CSV file and upload it, which I did. So I could at least have like something started.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm kind of seeing how I like either one of these. One of them is just like two girls put it together. So I'm like, I kind of want to support like a small like women owned app. And
Yeah, for sure.
So definitely like, and some great stats, and I know a lot of people were concerned because like, well, I can't find all the books on these apps. And I'm like, that's where I run into a lot. Like Goodreads tends to have most of them. And it's really cool now because Goodreads did away with the Facebook login. And then because I'm an author and my book is on Amazon, and Amazon now owns Goodreads, you can actually link your author account to your Goodreads page. So like now when you go into like my profile, it says Goodreads author, and then it lists all my books, which I have my physical, like my actual novel, and then I have all the journals that I had published beforehand. And like I think I did a mandala shaped color, like different coloring book. And so it lists that all on my profile as mine instead of like, so I was able to go through like the process with Goodreads to add it. So I think I'll always keep Goodreads, but it's still so clunky. Like it's so old looking. It needs a refresh.
Yeah.
I wish they need to add things, and I will still keep it just because when I read on my Kindle, it also you can have it like when you finish a book automatically update, which I think is nice because then if I want to review it or give it a star rating, I can go right in there and do that.
Yeah.
And that does make it like easy. But I think it's fun using the different apps, and I also follow different people on different apps. Some of them I follow on the same ones, but I think it's fun and I like trying them out, and it's not really a big hardship to have to update everything from app to app. And a lot of them you just import your information anyways.
Yeah, right.
It's just fun. Whatever. It's my little journal.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at. I'm like, I'm not doing physical stuff this year because I'm like, I don't keep up on it, and it's great for a few months, and then it's like it starts to become like, oh yeah, the physical stuff takes time.
Oh, I didn't go over my top books.
Oh yeah, you didn't.
Yeah, go for it, girl.
Wait a second. I'll only do because I had a lot. So as we established, I read a lot of books this year. I read 61 books. Most of them were in the 4 to 5 star camp. So I had a lot of really good. If I had a couple out, off the top of my head, favorite book of the year, hands down, was Don't Let the Forest In by C.G. Drews. It is eco-botanical horror starring queer teens. And it is very good. 100% recommend. Hazelthorn is the latest work by that same author. It is also eco-botanical horror and is kind of a little bit Secret Garden-ish, but make it really cursed. Highly recommend. So love both of those. I also really liked The Shepherd King duology by Rachel Gillig this year. It was really good gothic. I think it is technically classified as a romantasy, but I found as someone who's not huge into romantasy, but who is huge into fantasy, I found the magic system to just be so interesting because it's all based on playing cards. It is very cool. I really recommend. Another book this year I really liked was Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt, I want to say. And this one was a literary fiction which dealt with the topic of grief and just like where to go with your life after everything has come to a standstill. It featured a 70-year-old woman named Tova who had like lost her entire family, including her son mysteriously disappearing years ago, and they never got an answer what happened to him other than they knew he's dead. They just didn't know how or where. It also featured an octopus. So we actually had a Great Pacific Octopus's point of view in the book, and it was just fantastic. Highly recommend. I cried. I cried a little bit, okay? It's really good. Because the octopus is the only one that has any answers about what happened to Tofa's son. But obviously he cannot talk.
Right.
So he gets a soft spot for her, so he's got to like let her know what he knows, and it's very, very interesting. I'm trying to think of any others off the top of my head. So I read a lot of different genres, but mystery and fantasy are my primary ones. So those things I'm going to say are going to be like fantasy. I did want to recommend a particular author, primarily through 3 books on all of them. The author is Aidan Thomas. He is a trans Hispanic author who writes YA, and he is the author of several books that I really love that were all 5 stars this year. One of them is called Cemetery Boys, and it is also getting a sequel this year, which I'm really excited for. And then he has a duology called the Sunbearer Trials duology. So Sunbearer Trials and the Celestial Monsters. And that's really cool because it's like fantasy, alternate, like Mexico / Mesopotamia, like Aztec. It's gods, demigods. It is really, really good. They all feature trans main characters, and they also are super diverse outside of that. And I just found them all to be a delight, and I've worked through almost all of his books. So I will leave it at those because I could recommend so many more. I had, again, so many good reads this year, but those are the ones I want to shout out in particular.
I love that. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check those out because those sound good.
Well, and I, because we've been a TV podcast for a long time, but it's nice when we talk about something different. And I know a lot of our fans do have other hobbies besides watching 911. So, and the universe. So, it's nice when we have a chance to talk a little more specifically on other things.
I know it's very fun for me, being that I do my TV content obviously on one page, and now I'm doing my book content on another page. And it's funny because the people from like the 911 fandom are like finding my book stuff, and they're like, "Wait, you read?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And like it's funny because I'm just like, yeah, like I have all these different hobbies, but all my hobbies kind of have like one thing in common, which is funny. Do you guys have anything that you like absolutely want to read this year? Anything like that? I have a whole list, but I feel like if I see a book on Goodreads, I'll a lot of times put it on like want to read, just so like I don't always revisit it, but like I just like that it's there because if I'm scrolling. But I also my camera roll on my phone, probably like 90% of my screenshots are books because I have to screenshot them, and it's a lot of times it'll be like arcs, and I'm like, well, I don't necessarily want to get the arc. Sometimes I'm like, I'll wait, but I'm like, I don't want to lose it, so I have to just go through my phone and comb through all this stuff right now. Yeah. I definitely there's like other series from authors I really like that I want to read the other series for, but right now I'm waiting for Butcher and Blackbird at Libby. I wasn't ready.
I read that.
It. Yeah, I one of my coworkers read it and she loved it, and I was like, it's been on my list.
Yeah, it's on my list.
I'm literally next in line at Libby. Like, they gave it to me last week, but I suspended it because I had an arc that I had to read. So I suspended it. My mom was like, just suspend it, and then when you're ready to read it, unsuspend it, and then you're next in line. And I'm like, oh, that's great. So I'm like, so then right now I'm reading like a short story because I'm like, I don't want to I don't want to not be reading anything, but I also like don't want to dive into anything too long and then I can't, like I'm like not ready when the Libby comes up. So that's kind of my dilemma right now. And I don't know how many things I'm going to be going into before I get this book.
I am very curious to hear what you guys think because I read it, I rated it, I think 4 stars, but I have a lot of books, so
Yeah.
I'm very curious to see what
Yeah, my one coworker said she read it in a day, which that doesn't always happen for me because I wouldn't say I'm a slow reader, but I'm not a really fast reader. It kind of depends what I'm reading. If I'm reading a lighter book, I definitely read it faster, but it depends. It depends. And there's like a lot of authors that I've seen that I want to get into. I want to read a lot more indie authors for sure this year. I read one of Ellie Hazelwood's books last year, Love Hypothesis,
Yeah.
which is obviously really popular and stuff. So I want to read more of her books 'cause I really enjoyed that book. And then there's just a lot. I was telling you guys before we started recording that I got like a 12-day book advent calendar for Christmas, or I got it for myself before Christmas, and
Yeah.
stuff. And like you could send your Goodreads and that kind of stuff. And I was like, I'm interested in getting into these books, so like just send me anything like this. And I
Yeah.
also like romance and thrillers. And I got like a very good like variety of stuff, so I'm excited to read all those.
I'm so glad you said that because I was thinking here, I was like, man, I'm weird because I love romance and I love apocalyptic and dystopian books.
Oh my God. So like I'm reading this book right now. It's like like a novella about death row. And so yesterday at work I go to one of my coworkers. Granted, this is like a 67-year-old man, and I don't know what he thought of me saying this, but I go, "Yeah, I'm reading this book about death row right now." And he goes, "Oh." And I go, "Yeah, I like some really dark shit." And he's like, "Okay." And I'm
Right?
like, see if it was like my work bestie, she would totally understand because she loves some dark stuff or like some like really like spicy books, so that's kind of how I am. Like I'm kind of like okay with everything, kind of. So I will read things that are like Fade to Black. I will read things that are like people would be like, "Oh, she's reading that." Like I was reading this one book the other day and it was very spicy, and I told my coworker, "Go, I hope nobody was standing behind me when I was reading this because
There's several apocalyptic, dystopian, like post-apocalyptic books that I've like read that I really, really like. And so I was like, I actually looked it up on YouTube, like people recommending other ones. And I wrote down the ones that seem to pop up in other places. So there's definitely some ones I want to check out. And I don't tend to actually I think audiobook tends to be where I land the most for like how I listen to them or get them. So if Libby doesn't have it is kind of my first go-to, and that's kind of where I have my list of like to read, to listen. And I do have a Kindle, so I can like always, get the ebook and, send it to my Kindle. So like I definitely want to get some more read, but so I don't really have anything specific. Like my aim was to read the Heated Rivalry Game Changer series, which I did. I did not expect to do that within the short amount of time that I did it in. My brain feels like mush.
yeah, I think I'm gonna listen to it because I've seen the audiobook like for really cheap, so I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I might be doing that.
Yeah. I think it's worth it to have the series, and I definitely would like to over time pick up the series because I think it's worth having. And since I purchased the ebook as the like the volume 2 ebook, I think I might buy the volume 1 ebook just to have all 6 books at least in the ebook. But yeah, Libby, it was just unfortunately the libraries that I have access to, they only had like 2 copies of the audiobooks each, and so like you're like 15th in line and you're like slowly, and some people do not read fast when it's audiobooks. I listen to things at 2 times speed.
Yeah.
And that's slow for me.
I do like
It depends who's reading.
Yeah.
Like I can go between, I would say 1.8, maybe 1.5 to like 2.
Yeah.
It kind of depends. It's funny when my mom and I like went on a trip, we listened to 2 audiobooks. And like we had to like change the speed for like the both of us so it was comfortable for both of us. But I was just
Right.
like, yeah, we're not listening to this on 1 point speed. That's just like too slow. Like it's
Yeah.
like YouTube videos. I will watch YouTube videos like on faster speed. I love that feature. It's
Yes,
great.
I do.
See, I am the slowpoke of the group of twos because I listen to my books at like, I find that 1.5, 1.75 maybe, like it is too slow for me to listen to them at just regular, but I cannot listen to 2 point speed unless the audiobook narrator's really doing something wrong, because I cannot comprehend the words that much. Because it has to be going fast enough that my ADHD doesn't wander, but not so fast my ADHD cannot catch it. And there is a fine line.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah,
a huge
that's
audiobook
understandable.
listener. I do like them, but I always tell myself that I have to be in a specific mood, even though I'm not sure I always have to be in as specific a mood as I say I need to be in. But like, I don't know. There's something, for me personally, I think I prefer reading with my own two eyes, but I do, maybe this year I kind of want to work on maybe some more audiobooks to like actually get myself more accustomed, because I didn't grow up with audiobooks either, so it is kind of still a new thing.
Yeah, it's definitely a process. I feel like growing up, like for learning wise, I was always offered like the audio version of whatever book or in school like textbooks and stuff. So like I used it for like learning wise, I had to like, but then I was just like sometimes it would be so robotic. It has to be like somebody good narrating it, and some authors just have really good narrators where I'm just like, oh, like for these books I'd rather just listen to them because I'm like I've heard their narrators are like top notch. So I'm like, I need to do that. But then there's other times where I just like don't want to.
As far as like my TBR goals for the year, I do have some. So I want to reread The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I need to read those.
I have not read them since I was a kid. Keep in mind, I am very familiar with Lord of the Rings. I watch the movies every year. I have gone on deep dives. Like literally, I have been so intimately familiar with this series since I was very young. I also know a lot about the Silmarillion. I know a lot about these books, but it's been so long since I've fully actually read them. That's what I want to do this year. It's gonna be a task. Because bless Tolkien, he did not mince his words. Anyway, also it was his 134th birthday like 2 days ago. Fun fact. May he rest in peace. I also want to read for the first time Percy Jackson. I have never read the Percy Jackson series, and I really want to. I've heard wonderful things, and I also want to watch the series. I've watched the movies, and like I liked the movies, but everyone who actually read the books says they're terrible. So I'm like, okay, I need to actually get more on board with this. So I want all of those things. I have a couple of like actually larger series I want to get to. And by that, I don't necessarily mean number of books. I mean the actual books are like 800 pages.
Wow.
Yeah,
And they're sitting on my shelves, and I want to read them, but I am a coward. I think I want to try and hit some of those. I have some John Gwynne books. If you're not familiar with John Gwynne, for anybody out there, he writes like 600-page books, and they're all epic fantasies. So I'm gonna tackle some of those.
That's so intimidating because I just like it's like funny because I think it was 500-page romance book and I was kind of annoyed. I was like, there's no reason why this book needs to be 500 pages. Like if you use the 500 pages wisely, but I was like, this could have totally been like a 300-400 page book.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay, I
no
agree with
hate.
that with romances though, because there's no reason a romance needs to be that long.
I agree.
Fantasy, we are world building. We have other stuff going on. There's usually some sort of magic or some sort of like stuff going on.
Right, that's understandable.
Those make sense. Romances, I don't think I've read a 500-page romance or anything, but I've heard they exist, and I see no reason for it to be like that.
Yeah. I
If
think
you do it well, yes,
Yeah.
but like this, for the most part, there's no reason.
Yeah, and I feel like
it can't become the new thing. It
yeah,
cannot become
even
new
in the
trend.
research I've done, like for the business, like because we have the self-publishing business, and I always kind of encourage the authors that I work with, like I do research on the genres that they're planning on aiming on writing, and I'm like, okay, this is kind of your sweet spot. Most romances, the average is like 70,000 to 100,000, and I'm like, mine I think is like 115. but I did a little bit of world building because I was kind of explaining the city too. But yeah, anything over 400 book pages is way too much for a romance. I'm like, you know, because I think I know some writers who are very detailed. I'm like, you just wrote a paragraph that could be summarized in a sentence. Like, I've had to coach people on that. I'm like, okay, it's like, this is, yeah. So, but you're right. Like fantasy, romantasy books where you're world building these new world, new languages like Tolkien did. Like I think because he created multiple languages, honestly, because he's got the Elven language and some of the others that I'm like, there's reasons why those are big books. And yeah, I need to go back. I think I read The Hobbit when I was in school, but I was so young I didn't really quite understand it completely. So like, I definitely need to read it now as an adult where I can comprehend it. And
yeah.
Just for those of you curious, because I did read them, I have watched all the Heated Rivalry series, and I think having seen a lot of books to movie or TV shows, this is actually a really well done adaptation of the books. They stayed very true to the characters and the book and the author. And I know she was included in a lot of the development of the series as well, which is awesome. And I think like the TV show only focuses on the first 2 books. So I warn people, I'm like, okay, just know that the series is only covering the first 2 books. And yeah, I think they did really good. So Crave really nailed it on the head, and getting Max on board was awesome. So I feel like, and then like, even, I don't know, like Lord of the Rings, I have a friend who's like really into the Silmarillion, and like he is so anti Rings of Power, it's not even funny.
I haven't been able to bring myself to watch it yet.
Like, yeah, because he refuses.
Because they didn't have the rights to the Silmarillion, so
exactly.
They just did their own thing because
they did their own thing.
Christopher Tolkien refuses, which
he has the right to.
I wouldn't have sold it to Amazon either. Okay, just saying.
Yep.
Peter Jackson or nobody.
Yeah.
One day I'll bring myself to watch those, but I wanted to bring up 2 more books that I just thought of. I'm really excited for the 6th and final Heartstopper book to come out.
Oh, me too.
That's a series that I need to read.
I love it. I have read all of them. I have watched the series. I'm really excited because the 6th season is coming out as a movie as well.
I
so
know,
I'm down for it.
That got mixed reactions because a lot of people are like kind of sad that it won't be like a series, but it's gonna be a movie instead. But I think that's kind of fun. Yeah, I am excited to read that as well.
Given how much Alice Oseman is involved with the series and adaptations of her works, I'm assuming there's probably there's a reason.
For sure.
Like, I think that was something I don't know if she was the original idea behind it, but she had this in mind. So I'm really excited for that. I also want to finish the Murderbot Diaries this year, or at least the ones that are out. They're putting out a new one. I have read the first 2 novellas, and they were both really good. So I have not yet watched the show. I know they made a show. I'm not sure. One day I'll tackle it, but I'm really excited for those. This was a book I wanted to read last year, and I didn't get my hands on it because I wanted to own it physically, and I just haven't gotten around to getting it yet. And it's called One Day Everyone Will Have Always Been Against This. And I don't remember who the author is, but it is about the genocide in Gaza. And I know it's going to absolutely destroy me to read, but I really want to read it. I think I really need to read it. So that is also a goal I have to read this year because I think it is very much needed.
Do you guys have any goals for this year? I feel like I never make any too many, or I don't know.
New Year's resolutions.
I'm not so the way I think about it, I don't ever set resolutions. I more so look at it as goals, and they're not even concrete goals. There's always things that I'm reflecting about the new year, or just going into the new year. I'm always oh, I'd love to do these things, or I'd love for this to happen. I don't know. I just, that's I never set concrete things. There's always things I want to do or things that I hope to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of how I see it.
Yeah.
I think the idea of goals and setting the deadline of a year is almost puts too much stress on it, and especially since like there's something like you never know how life turns out, so like I feel like sometimes the idea of goals adds a lot of stress, but I do like the idea of like envisioning your year and being like, I hope this will work out in this way, or like I kind of hope this is where I am next year, or that I'll see why this maybe shouldn't be a thing, if that makes sense. So I guess sort of like in a way goals, but kind of taking the pressure off of the word goals.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Like I'm trying to like be more organized this year. Also like be more
Girl, me
healthier,
too.
be more active, and like I'm just like I lately like the past I would say like month I've been trying to like declutter my life because I just feel like I have so much. Like today I went through my holiday bin and I was like this is ugly. This is trash. Like I got rid of so much stuff out of there because I was just like, why am I keeping this and putting this away every single year with all this clutter and stuff? So yeah, like I'm just trying to do that. And obviously I have like my like social media goals and like stuff. I'm just seeing where things go. I'm not setting any like concrete things or being like,
Right.
I have to do this. But I'm excited to see where this year goes, and even like podcast wise, I'm excited we're recording again, and
Yeah.
excited to see where things go.
Honestly.
I'd love to see us grow, but yeah, those are my like little things, but they're great.
I kind of always like I don't make resolutions, and I try to take the month of January to kind of see if there's something that like pops up in my life or in my like character that I want to work on. But like I do want to keep reading, want to keep writing. My goal this year, I guess one of my goals is to finish the first draft of my second book because I really want to get it done. And I think at the point that I'm at right now, I'm finishing the first draft of the second book. I say that in quotes because I think it's going to end up being 2 books, which I'm fine with. And yeah, like just get more clients for the business, build the business, little visit friends and family. Yeah. So I don't like putting like a specific deadline on certain things because you're right, Grace, it does kind of get stressful that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
I just feel like it's an easy way. Yeah. Well, I feel like when I say that, it's just like I think sometimes the idea of conquering the goal can sometimes become more of a focus than the goal itself. That being said, I do have goals for this year because there are a lot of things I'm like currently in the middle of looking for. Like I am working to apply to different counties as a career firefighter. And if that happens, then I can achieve I can move further my long-term goal of being more financially stable and getting out of a job that, well, I love it with all my heart, is not serving me in the best way anymore. So getting out of that. And, maybe I can work towards bringing a relationship to the next level, or maybe just finishing my certifications for different things, like that kind of thing. I also would love to be more organized and finally like work on decluttering some of my shit and cleaning my space, because I think I need to work on cleaning my space more, because it is, for someone who is like pretty organized in like a work environment or like in environments that she doesn't live in, I am really bad at it in the areas I live.
That's how I am too. Like I'm such an organized person in my like work life, I guess. But like at home, like it's such a mess, and like that's why I'm not like putting too much pressure on myself, trying to do little bits at time so I don't get overwhelmed, because it's happened in the past where it's just like it snowballs, and then like I'm trying to clean it up, and then I'm trying to do it all one day and it's very overwhelming and I just want to give up. So I'm like trying not to do that. And yeah, so little by little.
Little by
little. It's all good things. We all have things we're working towards.
All right.
But now on to the 911 things to end this all off.
Right.
Not us talking for like an hour and a half simply about books. I
Books.
love that for us.
This is so relatable because everyone doesn't know this, but like off the podcast, we'll literally talk about all the things we just talked about, but like all like in our own time, like
Right.
before we start recording or after. So it's honestly it's relatable, so it's fine. It's great. We love it. Anyways, so there's not really much from the shows, but we still obviously this was what we planned on doing when we came back. But there's like little 911 news. I know things I've seen quieter than usual. Like yes, there's been behind the scenes stuff, and yes, we sort of know like what we potentially could be seeing next, but we don't really have too much. As as for like the 911 news, there will be a 911 in Nashville crossover. The date and when this is happening is not determined. We don't know yet, but obviously it's coming up in the future, which I had read an article before that was like they weren't sure if it was going to be this season or next season, which they have already either filmed or were filming this. So it's likely happening in whatever set of episodes. We're not even sure. But it looks like Buck and Eddie will be heading to Nashville because both Ryan and Oliver were reported to be filming on the set of Nashville. So I'm like, oh, that's gonna be interesting. It's also
Reported and
interesting.
seen. I've seen many of pictures.
Oh, I have too. I've
yes.
seen the things. And it's kind of cool because they're the only cast members that have been on all three 911 Universe shows.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So it's kind of cool that they're going. I think it's also an interesting dynamic. It kind of makes sense that it's them because of Hen's going through this health thing. Obviously, she can't go.
Right.
And I think it's interesting that it's them. I'm interested to see like dynamics and see why they end up going there and that kind of stuff. Like this is gonna be really interesting. And I don't know that any of us have a lot of wish lists. I know I wrote down a few things just off the top, like just on top of my head this morning. I know they teased like Hen being sick in the fall finale, and I'm really wondering where they're gonna go with that, like what it's gonna be. And like I'm just really interested in the 118 family like rallying behind her and maybe like each of them taking a shift to spend time with her if she's really sick. We obviously don't know where this is gonna go, but I'm interested in that. And then I'm also interested in like Buck like possibly getting out there and dating because I believe there was like a speed dating thing that was rumored to be happening or them going out soon. Like Robbie, Buck, and Eddie all going out together. I think that's what it was. So I'm really interested to see where they go with that and what they do. And I think we've all said it, we'll all say it again, and we'll say it a million times that we need more Robbie. We need to get to know him more. Like obviously we know things that he does or we know certain things about him, but I would really love for them to dive into him more and focus on it and like get to know who he is. Because yes, we know things, but like we don't know everything. And it's been nice seeing him in like a larger capacity, but yeah, I'm interested to see what they do in these episodes. It feels so long since we had an episode. But I'm excited.
Also, can we see the new baby at some point?
Yeah, we saw him once.
We don't really see little Bobby.
Right. It'd be nice, yeah.
He's not gonna be little by the time they show.
Right, yeah.
Which maybe that's the point. Maybe they had some issue with securing like a young baby for the role or something. Like I don't know.
They showed
but the way I said
that
makes it sound like the way I sounded like made it sound like I expected them to kidnap him. No. To be clear, I was not expecting them to kidnap. But I was expecting like we got and I understand that was also partially surrounding like Maddie's storyline with PPD. But like we got so much young content that I'm like, can we just get something with little Bobby?
Yeah, please? Seriously. Which I understand that for the first half of the season, it was like 90% the space storyline, and then we had two episodes that were like normal episodes, quote unquote.
Yeah.
So like we haven't gotten so much of everyone else for a lot of it, so I definitely am anticipating or hoping that they show us more in this next half.
I want to see Uncle Buck more.
Yeah, that too.
Yes. Yes. Definitely want to see Uncle Buck more. Yeah, I don't feel like I have a lot for 911. Like anything I could say I feel like has all been said before. And I think you rounded them out pretty well, Katie. I'm hoping that season 9 just continues on a strong.
Yeah, for sure.
That's my biggest wish list thing actually. It's just that they keep it together.
Yeah.
In season 9B. Just keep it together.
Yeah. I don't have a ton. Definitely, like I said, Uncle Buck. Kind of keep the momentum going. You know, I know there's been some scenes or some like behind the scenes stuff we've seen of like the guy playing Harry, like completely covered in a blanket, and like they're hiding his outfit because they don't want anybody to see him in the uniform.
Although they flat out showed it in a few things, I honestly forgot about that until I was like, now.
Yeah, so we will, I'm sure.
Same, actually.
Like and you know,
No, I had a thought. I'm gonna save it till you're finished with what you're saying, EJ, because it'll be a great transition into Nashville, actually.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I was trying to think. Like, I definitely want to see where they're going with this hen storyline, and because we just watched because we went back to the beginning of Grey's Anatomy, and I've only seen up to like till they killed Derek off. So, like, we're in season. I think we just started season 7, and like they just had the shooting episode of Derek and all that, and Alex and some of the other characters. So I feel like there's bound to be some health stuff come up, and I'm really surprised that we haven't seen any more serious like health, not so much injury. Because, like, we've had injuries left and right on the show. But, like, I would really like to see how they deal with a character getting some sort of potentially chronic disease that maybe prevents them from working or changes the way they work. And I don't know if that's where they're going with Hen, but I'm curious if they would do something like that.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it'd be interesting if they go that direction, especially with Hen, seeing as they couldn't commit to her medical storyline. Like her doctor storyline. And it's interesting because like I don't know that I see them making that full commitment for any of the current cast members, especially after making the decision to kill Bobby off.
Yeah.
Like I think that is the most big character shit we're gonna get for a while, and honestly, if that's a big character shit they're doing, I'm good with that. But yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Like I don't disagree. I think it'd be really interesting if they explored that.
Right.
I don't know that I believe they are brave enough to.
Yeah, because it's like fresh off Bobby, and it would just be like terrible if they like did something so drastic again. Because people are already like either like stop watching, which understandable, I understand, nothing wrong with it. Like it's just people are already stop watching, or people are like already not loving the show as much as they used to with Bobby gone. So I think if they like then again took somebody else out, or even made it so they couldn't be on the show in that capacity, it'd be really bad.
Yeah, feel like too soon.
Yeah,
I feel like they cannot start doing anything to the main characters, and I say this, they've clearly got a storyline going of some sort with Han. They cannot do anything to the main characters before season 12. I feel like at this rate, that's the earliest they're gonna get away with doing something.
Because it was a show that would hurt the characters, but you always knew they were going to be okay for like 8 seasons, and then with Bobby, and it's just one of those things where it's just like I think people expected everyone to be okay, and that was kind of like what we expected, but obviously like they wanted to switch that up, which you know, it is what it is.
And I would like to see more Chris. I would like to see you know, Eddie and Chris, Buck, Eddie and Chris. I am interested to see what they're doing. I'm excited that Dean Geyer is going to be on the show. I have been a fan of his since he was in Terra Nova, which is another old Fox show. Only lasted a season, but it was really good. I love that series. I really wish I could find books like that. Oh, that would be so good to read. And then, yes, he was in Glee, which was another Ryan Murphy series. So, you guys.
The long-suffering voice in which you said that in says everything.
Yeah. So it's.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't remember how much I have shared, but I was a rabid Glee fan at the beginning, from like 09 to season 3, and then they did a lot of stupid shit and had in like season 2, 3, to where I just basically gave up on Glee at the end of season 3. And Dean Geyer actually was in season 4, so I actually watched clips of him in there, but I never actually watched the episodes he was in because I refused to watch any more of Glee. And it left a bitter taste. And to be honest, it wasn't necessarily the show in a way. It was some of the fandom. Which is why I think I've pulled away from being online a lot with 911. Because I feel like the fandom really took a nasty nosedive there for a while, and I was really disappointed. And I'm like, I can't be in another fandom that does that. So I'm trying my best to stay involved as much as I can. But I'm tending to go back to my lurking ways because I feel like it's safer that way. Because because I liked a certain relationship in Glee, and there was a lot of fans that didn't like that relationship. They made it very clear that I shouldn't like the relationship I liked, and yeah, it was very bad for a while. So I get really disappointed when the 911 fans went that same direction, and
yeah,
we've already had that discussion.
Yeah.
So, and it just happens to be that it's another Ryan Murphy series. So like when I first told my friend that I was really into it, she's like, it's a Ryan Murphy series. Why? And honestly, in the fandom, we called him the yellow hat guy. Like it was that bad. Like we wouldn't even say his name. It was like up there with Voldemort.
You must not be named, except it's Ryan Murphy.
I kind of just disregard him because you never hear him talk about the show, you know what I mean? Like he kind of is off in his own little world in Netflix, and I refuse to watch any of that.
Yeah, his name
he exists
associated with it now. I don't think he's really
Yeah.
But anyways, and I'm curious to see, like, I did like what they showed of Nashville, of the Ryan and Oliver being on set, and what that's kind of, I'm curious where that's coming. So I will help Grace lead into Nashville because it sounded like she had something to say about it. So
well, just simply, I didn't think about this before, but I do have something to thank Nashville for. And it's that after everything that happened with Lou, I don't have a single issue with anything they did with Harry.
Okay.
I don't have a single complaint anymore. I don't have a single complaint on what they did to get Harry into the fire department or Dyson. Actually, considering what they did with Blue, nope. Gold star 911. You won that round.
Okay.
I love that. Honestly, yeah. I mean, I'm not mad at it either, but yeah, I do agree with that statement. But yeah, I don't really like.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like after getting off of watching Nashville, I feel like there's some things I want to see. And I'm not even saying these things based on like, it's kind of being like, well, I hope they go in this direction because obviously we have complicated feelings on it. I feel like my feelings on the last few were less complicated, but I feel like we're just in like, it's like the Facebook status when you're a teenager, the relationship status of it's complicated.
It's complicated, yeah.
That's how I feel. Like it's there, but it's kind of one of those things because I'm like, oh, this show has potential, but they're doing something weird of it where they're making it like a soap opera, and I'm like, why are we doing this? This is not what the 9-1 formula is supposed to be. Just give us Lone Star back. Like, I will friggin' scream that until the end of time.
Lone Star.
I would even be okay if they somehow figured how to get it into these two series. Like, bring our characters in a way that, like, gives us Lone Star without 100%, like, having Lone Star back if they're, like, worried about, like, funding or having another series. Yeah. I don't know how it worked, but...
Yeah, it is what it is at this point. So these are the few things that I want to see more of or I want to happen. So It was mentioned in several interviews, and I feel like they alluded to it a little bit in the show. But Roxy is a lesbian. Can we explore that relationship? Can we explore her just as a queer woman? Also, can we like see less of Blythe and Don, like the cis white man and his
Can
wife?
we
I'm
please see
sorry.
less of the white people?
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Like, I have no problem with some of the others, but I really don't want to see like um them. I really don't care, because in my mind, I'm just watching like a really bad. Because like every time
Real
I see
Housewives of
Jessica,
Nashville?
well, I did say that in the past, but that's not what I was thinking in this moment. Because, okay, when I look at Jessica Capshaw, I still see Arizona Robbins,
I
who
know.
is a lesbian, by the way.
Right. We're
And
watching, yeah, watching Grey's
I'm,
Anatomy. That's like, oh
yeah,
God.
that I know EJ
Yeah.
gets me there.
Yeah.
So it's just, it trips me up every time. Like, I love her, and I get that she's played many different characters of many different backgrounds, but still, it's just like, it's like if we saw like Rafa on a show like kissing a woman, I think I would be like, "What?" Like I don't know how to explain it.
Thank you for that lovely mental image.
Sorry, guys.
Grace.
Sorry, guys. I just try to explain my feelings.
Yeah, that's
I think it just offended the whole fandom.
I don't like that idea.
Sorry, I really don't like that. I don't want that for him.
Anyway, my face was something after that, and we're gonna move on because I don't want to think about that anymore.
But anyways, I'm getting further from the point, but yeah, like literally show that and also like explore her more as a character, because I feel like it's just like, oh, these are the people of the 113 and we really didn't get
Hmm.
much.
Yeah.
They have potential. Like there's some characters where I'm just like, don't really care. Um, but I really am interested in that. And then also, I was thinking this, they need to show more of Taylor, like being, I said like being a part-time singer, I don't know, whatever, like, she obviously sings, and like, if you're going to give us Nashville, give us Nashville. Like, I just want to see her perform at like a honky tonk. Like, if you want to just like go there, just
If
go
we
there.
if we had to see
If we're in
Blue
Nashville,
stripping, we should be able to see her singing.
yeah, and like they could totally
Yeah.
do a scene like they did like the line dancing scene. I'm not saying I want to see them line dance. I would like it to be different, but they should totally do like one where it was kind of mentioned that she was gonna be singing at something and they were gonna go see her. So can we see that? Because if you're gonna
Right.
give
Yeah.
us Nashville, I want to actually see Nashville.
Yeah.
And yeah, I really want to see that. And I obviously we're getting like the follow up of the hacking storyline that OG completely forgot about and neglected. So I'm honestly just interested to see how they like wrap that up or what they do with that. Like I hope they do it well. I'm gonna be hopeful and positive about the whole thing, but
Right.
Yeah.
yeah.
I just need them to commit. Yeah. I just need them to commit.
Trying to think if there's anything like I really want to say. Like I as a country singer fan would love to see more country singers ebb and flow through the series
Absolutely.
as like like not like kind of like what Kane Brown did, but maybe just like the going to a concert of one of the singers, or because I've seen it in shows both ways. I've seen it where the singer will come in and play a different character, sometimes a completely different character, but also like a country singer, but not by the name that they've known as in real
Yeah.
life. Then
That's
I've
kind of cool
also,
too.
yeah, so like I would love to see somehow like a development of that. Then I think of like actors and who are like really big singers, like Justin Timberlake and Mandy Moore. Like literally, we just watched an episode of Grey's Anatomy and Mandy Moore is in it. I was like, it would
Right.
be really cool, like if somebody like that who has a background in music first can like be on there as an actress and see how like what they could do with that. I don't know, but yeah, just because it's Nashville and it's such a there's so much culture there, and like country music is really big there, and just yeah, more with that. Just I don't know, because I like country music.
Yeah, same. But yeah, I'm interested to see what the seasons bring. I'm hopeful about it. And it'll be interesting to see breaks wise what it brings. too.
Yeah.
Like how many episodes are gonna air, because it was kind of whack. Like, yes, we aired back to back for the fall, but it was also kind of wacky with us being done so early, which is fine. It ended up working out. Definitely interested to see what happens there.
Yeah, I think I'm just overall interested to see what happens, see where it all
Mhm.
goes.
Yeah.
Obviously, y'all heard our feelings on Nashville, and you've also heard all our feelings on 911. All these episodes. We're up to 160. We've had lots of thoughts.
Yeah. Well, and
I was just kind of talking at this point, but yeah, I don't know that I have any specific predictions or like wishes beyond these general ones. I think Katie, your notes really wrapped them up pretty well. I'm just, I'm just here for the ride a little bit.
Yeah, I
Right.
was just thinking that. Like, I'm just here, excited to watch the episodes again. Kind of go from there, I guess.
Yeah, and I think at this point, like, I know we've talked about it before, but how we all kind of, like, especially with Nashville, like, we were all kind of on the fence with it, and now we're, like, maybe a little more over the fence of it. I don't know. But we're, still kind of hesitantly interested from a
Right.
distance.
Yeah, like, I'm not going to be rushing to watch the episodes. Like,
Yeah.
do I want to have to watch, like, 3, 4 episodes, back to back? Absolutely not. But, and I
Oh,
don't
like
know,
when we
it
do a
might,
couple of episodes at a time.
yeah,
Yeah.
it might be good if there is a break, because then we're not covering so many episodes in one episode. But I also think it was because we were trying to kind of wrap up before like holidays too. So that way we didn't have to come back and do another episode. So we kind of did them like in a
Yeah.
reasonable amount of time.
But
Yeah.
I'm glad to be recording again. Glad we're chatting again, and we'll see what the season holds. And
Yeah, just looking forward to get back into it.
yeah, for sure.
Thank you guys so much for joining us and listening. Be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and check us out on YouTube. For more, visit 91LSRoundup.com and follow us on our socials at 91LSRoundup. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. And of course, come join us on our Discord server. The link's down below and on our website. You guys can follow me, Katie, at For the Love of Tarlos on TikTok, Instagram, and Threads.
You guys can follow me, Grace, at Run and Rafa 911 on Instagram and Threads.
You can follow me, EJ, at EJ8302 on Instagram and Threads.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.